Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. It's been a little while. I appreciate you guys giving me the freedom to take a small break and have some fun with my wife instead. But now, we'll be getting into this again. I may occasionally mix in a few different videos here and there, but let's continue doing some more Plague Inc. and try to resume the requests that have gone neglected for a while. Tuberculosis is one of them. How do you spell that again? Closis, is this right? No, that's not it. Platypud or platypus? I think it's going to be platypus. My mistake. Okay, platypus plaguer. Tuberculosis. There are quite a few of the tuberculosis scenarios. I wonder how this one's going to stand out. A new strain of tuberculosis has developed within a prison in Poland due to poor conditions and lack of hygiene. A vaccine is currently made for you, but it can't eradicate you. It only can slow you down. This also means that cure research will be quicker because humanity already knows your weaknesses. Luckily for you, you may be able to fuse with the strain used in the vaccine and use its abilities with a possessive apostrophe for no good reason there as well. Can you wipe out mankind? This is my second scenario. Hopefully you enjoy. Praise Pravus. Alright, let's give this one a shot. I'm curious. Its bacteria type, ATB boost, Darwinist, oxidative hemophile, and symptostasis seem fine. Now, let's not play Mega Brutal today. I'm not in the mood. TB. Total Biscuit? Oh, no, wait. Tuberculosis. Oh, got it. Welcome to Plague Inc. Let's start in Poland, apparently. There we go. Alright, so what do we start off as far as transmissions? We have droplets. Pathogens suspended and expelled liquid particles from the infected. Increases infectivity, especially in the humid areas. Not especially helpful in a place like Poland. Humid areas, again, actually, I don't know. Is Poland considered to be a wet place? It is actually considered to be humid. Never mind. Never mind. I guess I don't know much about the topical geography of Poland. So more droplets? Sure, it's only 4 DNA. Seems reasonable. Saliva. Pathogen can survive in saliva. Sure, kiss each other. See how that works out for you. Symptoms. We start with coughing, fever, sweating, pulmonary hypertension. So the blood pressure in the pulmonary arteries is elevated, exerting more pressure on the heart and causing infected to cough up blood. Tachycardia. Resting heart rate is consistently above 100 beats per minute, putting undue pressure on the heart. Can be fatal. We have a headache and we have drowsiness. So we have a fair bit of lethality and severity right off the bat, which is usually risky, so we will have to go fast in this scenario. Latent TB. Pathogen goes into a dormant state, significantly reducing infection rates, including air and boat travel, but severity and lethality as well. Interesting. So if I was really worried about being discovered too early on, this would be one way to try and reduce the stats that get me discovered and cured pretty quickly. That said, losing the infectivity does kind of suck. We may have to go for that. I'm not sure yet. Let's see if we can get away without it. The extra severity and lethality will get me a lot of DNA in the early game. I'm mostly worried about... Actually, no, we do have to be worried about places like Greenland shutting down, don't we? Ooh, yeah, never mind. I think I have to go for latent TB. I didn't really want to, but I think we have to do that. Yeah, okay. If we want to have a chance of getting into a place like Greenland, without the help of any spore bursts of sorts, we're going to need that. Blood is a thing, air is a thing, water is a thing, humid environments. Let's just stack this up. Stack up the human transmission so we spread really fast in Poland and in the rainy areas of, I don't know, Ukraine, Scandinavia, eventually getting into Russia, hopefully getting to Greenland a little bit sooner. More droplets? Could do that. Saliva too, sure. Air transmission wouldn't be a bad idea. Do we even have an airport? We do not start with an airport. Any symptoms I want to... I can't devolve anything, which is always interesting. It's probably appropriate, though. We don't want to devolve this stuff. That would kind of defeat the entire purpose of this scenario. Drug resistance would be a little on the early side. I need more infectivity. I think I will go for the droplets 3. Just get a lot of extra infectivity going over there. Starting to spread rather quickly here in Europe. Unfortunately, they did also, 1, detect me, and 2, just increase the drug resistance, which means we kind of have to go for drug resistance level 1 if we want to spread at all in Europe going forward. So, we'll pick that one up. Poland is starting to work on a cure for TB. All right. Well, we'll see how well that works out for you. Paranoia. So you thought you were going to work on a cure for TB, but then the conspiracy theorists came along. And you weren't ready for none of them. Oh, here's your big government conspiracy. All right, so I would love to get something like water 2. Air 1 wouldn't be a bad idea now that we're starting to get places with some airports. Get us to other continents a little bit on the sooner side. Would be nice, but we're actually not generating that much DNA. We've kind of maxed out our population in these areas. Not spreading very fast in places like Russia, because you don't have the right modifiers, and of course places like Germany are rich with pretty darn good medicine. We will pick up the air transmission, and hopefully we can get a plane to go out somewhere, as we spread in places like Russia. The human transmission is working out very well for me at the moment. Do we want to go for a bit more water transmission? Yes. Let's max out our opportunities to get to a place like Greenland. Though, realistically, I don't think Greenland is our threat. I think it's going to end up being the Caribbean, Madagascar, or New Zealand. Those are going to be the hard ones to deal with. Poland, are you considered to be cold? You are. So we will need some heat resistance at some point as well. Which is always more expensive than cold resistance, so that's unfortunate. What is this, by the way? Vaccine Advantage 1. Pathogen fuses with the strain used in the experimental vaccine. Slows cure research, but it is noticeable. Well, we could do that. It's only 4 DNA. Let's pick up a level of that to slow down the cure and buy a little bit more time. Could do it again, slowing down the cure research even further. Might want to go for some extra air transmission for the arid environments. Possibly. Kind of debating a lot of that. I think we actually may need to go for another level of drug resistance and heat resistance more than anything right now. The symptoms are already getting me as much DNA as I feel like I need. Like, I don't really feel the need to go for a lot of extra symptoms right now. Extra infectivity from saliva is nice. Air 3 is nice. I don't know how you get water 3. Yeah, let's go for the heat resistance so we can spread a little bit faster in places like Saudi Arabia. May want to get, we'll end up needing 2 levels of that. The question is, can I get away with going for drug resistance right now? And I think we kind of have to. Spread a little bit faster in places like Europe. I'm going to go ahead and pick up another level of the vaccine advantage. That leads to strain fusion. Pathogen obtains traits from the other strain used in the vaccine. A much deadlier one unlocks new symptoms. Now that sounds pretty tempting now, don't it? But again, I'm not looking to really increase the severity much further than I already have, and I don't want to increase lethality, which it looked like that would do. So let's go for that heat resistance, and then that's kind of all I can afford at the moment. But hopefully that allows me to spread a little bit faster in Africa. More saliva. We kind of could go for blood for the poor regions. That's actually not a bad idea, because most of the places that we're missing out on right now is in the southern hemisphere, which is typically poorer than the north. So that actually isn't a bad idea. I am concerned that Russia closed down their ports rather quickly. Greenland may end up being a problem after all, which I did not expect. Blood 2. Yes, let's do that. We're kind of reaching the point where I need to be getting into these islands, and I really need to, get some extra symptoms going. I can't really afford to keep wasting a lot of time here in the transmissions tree. Still nothing there in Greenland. Okay, but we are in the Caribbean. We are in New Zealand, so that's pretty much everywhere I was worried about except for Greenland. Ironically, it turns out Greenland was still the problem. Huh. Well, am I worried about Air 3? Am I worried about Saliva 2? Not really. I think we go for things like sneezing. That's pretty effective for not a lot of severity. Pulmonary edema, potentially lethal. Okay. Fibrosis, seizures, insomnia. Less productive? Sure. Slow down that cure. Blurred vision. Slightly lethal there as well. I'm going to go for a level of genetic hardening to buy more time, because we're kind of struggling right now. Actually, we're just kind of out of time in general right now. They detected me a little bit too early, and I still am not in Greenland after all of this. This one's going to end up being a loss. I'm about positive. Let's go for strain fusion. A level of genetic reshuffle. What does that unlock from me? Anemia. Paralysis. Harder to cure. Seems okay. That resets some of the clock. Come on, Norway. Send a dang boat to Greenland. Jeez, dude. They are really not throwing me a bone here, are they? No, they really are not. There's anemia, and Greenland shut down their ports. That just seems unlucky. We've had this stuff maxed out for a very long time and still couldn't get in there. All right, restart. Well, this time around, we got a boat into Greenland almost immediately, which is just ridiculous. The cure is pretty hard to work with, so I did have to invest in genetic reshuffling and the vaccine advantages pretty early on. And then once I'd already maxed out all my symptoms, I worried about picking up the strain fusion. Otherwise, for the most part, everything is exactly the same as I had done before. We really did just get unlucky. I'm trying to make sure we kill people fast enough at this point that we are not going to lose anything. Getting into those last round of islands, of course, is a little bit tricky. Getting into Morocco is going to be a little difficult, but once we fully infect Algeria, I'm hoping the air transmission will take care of the rest for me at some point. Do we want to go for the total organ failure and start killing a lot faster? We haven't hit critical mass in a few places, so I'm a little concerned about going that aggressively. Let's go for some extra air transmission and some saliva. We'll hold on to the rest of our points from there. Spreading pretty fast in places like Algeria now. We are in Morocco. There's the total organ failure, whether I like it or not. Still killing a little on the fast side. As long as we are okay here. Wait. Canada's having problems. Okay. Wait a minute. Refund this sucker. Still want to keep the coma. Coma's been good for me. Hemorrhagic shock could be good to get rid of. So let's devolve that a little bit. Little concerned about places like Canada. Got to make sure we do not lose track here. We're doing fine in Morocco. So what we need then is going to be more drug resistance. That's what you're telling me. Okay, now we're looking a lot better. Okay. Canada was the holdout, but now they're all going to die. Wonderful. Actually, a pretty good scenario. Well put together, well balanced. I didn't really see very many grammatical mistakes at all. It's a little bit tricky, considering how many symptoms you start with that you can't get rid of. A good amount of severity and lethality to really put you on the spot. It does require a little bit of luck just to get into some of those islands, but that's not so bad. What is not fully infected right now? There's somewhere in the world that's not... Okay, New Zealand's actually also a problem. Gosh dang it. Fine. Refund. Please don't die. New Zealand, you can't die on me. Go for some saliva. Oh, crap. Get rid of the systemic infection. Get rid of the internal hemorrhaging. What else is missing? Canada. Greenland's fine. It's really just New Zealand. New Zealand is the only place that's not fully infected. They're freaking pushing it, though. Oh, gosh dang. Yeah, that's not irritating at all. Okay, hang on. Let's get rid of the immune suppression. Pulmonary fibrosis. We're losing out on some infectivity is my problem now. But okay. New Zealand, please. Starting to pick it up. They can't quite decide how they want to play this. Oh, no. Please tell me I'm not seriously going to lose this one again. I think I might be. Pulmonary edema, I'm going to have to get rid of you. We're losing infectivity too fast. And there's nothing else I can pick up. Really, New Zealand? Alright, either this is going to be an extremely slow crawl to victory, or it is a loss and I have to restart. And I'm thinking it is a loss and I have to restart because we have no corpse transmission at all. Oh, darn. Well, this time around is a little bit weird. I've actually managed to infect the entire world except for Africa, which I didn't get any blood transmission this time around, and as a result, did not get into Africa before I was kind of killing off the entire world. So now I've picked up everything I can, and we are slowly crawling our way across Africa, which is really going to mess up my score, but it should still turn into a victory. I kind of had to pull the trigger a little bit early the second I saw that I got into all the islands I was worried about, because the cure was going a little bit faster than I was able to handle at that moment. Please tell me you are going to get into Morocco, and we do. So we should be fine at this point. My lethality is nowhere near high enough to be a threat. I kind of devolved a few things there. Did rush to the coma, though, pretty quickly, so I would be able to finish off that cure. Let's go ahead and pick up a genetic reshuffle just to buy myself a little bit of extra refund there. And otherwise, we are going to win. Wow. Okay, that ended up being a little bit harder than I was expecting it to. I kind of figured we had it that second time around, and then New Zealand was a little bit weird, and yikes. But it is, again, a pretty challenging, pretty fun scenario. I like the fact that it puts me through the paces there. I'd have to think about it from a more asymmetric perspective. Starting in Poland is a little bit odd. It may make sense in this scenario. I'm not saying it's a bad choice. I'm just saying it kind of throws off my experience and what I'm typically used to, which is part of why it's challenging and fun. Getting into Greenland and stuff is luck. I would say a huge part of the luck here actually is determining whether the game will give you the clean air sterilization techniques for the airplanes or for the ships, or whether they're going to go for extra drug resistance. What random perk the world gets does seem to make a pretty big difference into your success in getting into the world. But yeah, if you are able to infect all the islands, I say pull the trigger, and then you can start slowly pushing through Africa. Surprisingly, Africa is the last ones to die. Of course, my score is terrible because I went very slow there, so there's some refinement needed on my end, but I would say that the scenario itself is very well balanced. Maybe a little bit difficult on a normal difficulty. Just a little bit. But again, I don't see that as being such a bad thing. I'm just concerned, what would it be like if you tried playing on Mega Brutal? But not everyone in the custom scenarios can play test it to all heck until it's perfectly balanced for all 4 difficulties. As is, it's fun. I think it's a very well put together scenario. Very well done, actually. Absolutely, I will say that we should give this a thumbs up, and people ought to play that through a few times and also give it some more thumbs up. I can't say that I know how it stands against all the other tuberculosis scenarios, but from what I saw there, it's solid regardless. So thank you for sending it my way. Thank you all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, then I ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.